Hello, everyone. Today we are diving into self-sabotage. One of my favorite topics because I think it is so important for us to understand our self-sabotage and have a plan to navigate it because it is inevitable that it's going to come up at some point in the transformation journey. Okay. Self-sabotage is not a flaw. There's nothing wrong with you. Everyone has it to some degree. It's a protective response that you have developed over a lifetime to keep you safe. And that's the purpose it has served up until this point, but safety has not allowed you to fully express yourself, to fully embody your soul, to liberate yourself from all that's held you back, or to even step into your dream life. So today we are going to cross that threshold by understanding what our self-sabotage is and how we can navigate it instead of trying to shame it away or trying to avoid it. So we're going to dive in and we're going to talk about self-sabotage and we're going to talk about surrender. The more you grow, the more patterns, the more things that you are activating in this process, the more likely old identities, the ego, the comfort zones are going to want to hold on. And that is when the self-sabotage tends to come up. Okay. So what we want to do is not shame the self-saboteur. We want to understand who's self-sabotaging. Okay. For me, I often picture this as a smaller version of me, maybe my inner child. This helps me meet myself with a lot of kindness and compassion to hold myself in the discomfort with a lot of love while still choosing to move forward. You can pick whatever resonates for you. Maybe it's an old version of you, maybe it's the current version of you, whatever helps you hold the most kindness and compassion, okay? So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna understand your saboteur. Bring these patterns to light, right? Not to shame them, but to manage them. So I'm gonna share this worksheet with you. You're gonna find that at the bottom of the video here. And we're gonna do this worksheet. So understanding your saboteur. What does this look like for you? And it's going to look a little bit different for everyone here, but what are the typical habits, right? We want to name them, like call them right out. Do you procrastinate? Do you scroll? Is it binge eating, watching Netflix, getting lost on TikTok? What is the thing that you do, right? I'll give you some examples. I know whenever I am meeting a threshold, doing something I don't really want to do, doing something that's requiring a new version of me, anything that makes me uncomfortable, I get tired, I get hungry, and I get easily distracted by things I would never get distracted by. And my body will physically tell me I'm tired and hungry. I will be full of energy, the brightest bubble you could possibly imagine. And I sit down to do something that I'm feeling any type of resistance to. And I am all of a sudden so exhausted, I need to take a nap. And it's not in my head. My body has developed a physical response. And in the beginning, I didn't understand because I was like, well, no, my body is really tired. If I go lay down, I actually fall asleep. It's not like I'm just, leaving and then going and watching TV. Like I would literally pass out. Oh no, I'm like literally starving here. I don't understand. I just ate. Like whatever it was, my body would actually make me feel that way. So it can be very strong and it can be a trickster energy that comes in and makes you actually feel these ways. So I know. Oh, the other thing I love to do, all of a sudden I'll be sitting there and I'm like, oh, I gotta go do laundry. I hate doing laundry. I've never wanted to do laundry, but all of a sudden I gotta go do laundry. Oh, I gotta go grocery shopping. I gotta go run this area. Like I always, it's like such this like innate thing of why I need to do it right now. But no, it makes sense to do the laundry now because then I'll come back and I'll have an hour uninterrupted while the washer is going or whatever. I can like convince myself of these things without knowing. This is why we need to name the habits up front, because then when I sit down at my computer or I sit down in front of the camera or whatever it is I'm doing and I'm about to do something and all of a sudden I get hungry, I can say, nope, I know I'm not hungry. This is my body having a reaction. Nope, the laundry doesn't need to get done right now. We'll do it later. It'll make sense to do it later. We can put it in and cook dinner or whatever while the washer's going. Like I have a plan in place so when those things happen, I know that it's my discomfort. I also prepare, which means I eat and I get a good night's sleep and I do all the things so that there is no distraction. I prepare my space so I can't see the laundry. I can't see something that would make me want to go pick it up or organize it. So there's a lot of preparation I can do and then a lot of in the moment management I can do with my own personal habits. So that's why it's really important that you nail them down today. What are they? And if you miss one or you don't know what they all are, make sure as they're coming up during this process, you're starting to identify them. When do these habits usually surface, right? So we want to get really specific. Is this when you start something, when it gets difficult, when you finish it, when you're about to hit publish on the post, when you're sitting down to write your story, when all of a sudden you've got to go and look at your inner child and do inner child work or healing? Like, when is this process for you? Maybe it's at multiple points. When I first started, it was when I sat down in front of the camera It was when I was recording. It was when I was editing. It was when I was hitting publish. It was when I was going back and watching it. It was when I was going back and check. Like I had so many, right? And through the process, I'm literally giving you my entire process here in this program, but through this process, those are no longer discomforts that cause self-sabotage or that bring these things up in me anymore because we work through them. So there are other things that bring it up for me, but not to that degree. It's not like I have to do, 10 levels of managing my self-sabotage before I can get to the thing I'm trying to do. It's usually maybe one, maybe two at most. And it gets less and less the more I show up to this process. It'll be the same for you. So don't get frustrated if in the beginning it's showing up at every step, right? Understand how these habits protect you. What are they really trying to help you avoid, right? For me, it was the fear of being seen. It was being judged. It was being rejected. It was being ridiculed. It was all of the things around being seen, right? It was every aspect of me who had been really comfortable hiding at every step of the way was pulling back. So also you can imagine that if you're filming content in that vibration, it's probably also not performing. Not that your content has to be about performing, but it's probably not reaching the audience or reaching your soul family or the people that you're wanting to reach if you're in this vibration of just like barely hanging on through self-sabotage, right? So that's again why it's important to keep working through it so that you get to a place where it can't stop you. So then you're creating from the right vibration and then you don't have to do as much work. So understand how it's trying to protect you. And then we want to understand the cost of it, right? So you are the only thing that can stop you from transforming. You are the only thing that can stop you from this working, from this program working, from you finally breaking free from the thing you want to break free from. You are the only person who can stop you. Nobody else can. I'm telling you, every single tool you need is in this program. You have, I mean, we've got the bases covered. I have used this program on hundreds of people. You're covered. The only thing that can stop you is you. Okay. And that is very empowering, but it can also be very scary. So now it's important to understand, what has self-sabotage stopped you from having before? Has it prevented you from having the relationships that you want? Has it prevented you from having and holding the abundance that you want? Has it prevented you from putting yourself out there and expressing yourself? Has it prevented you from being who you actually are? Has it prevented you from living the life you want to live? Like, where has this limited you? I want you to get really real and raw and make a list of the top 5 ways that this has affected you. Really dive into that too, because when sabotage comes back up and you come and read this and you're like, oh, this is why things are how they are right now. This is why I'm experiencing this thing I desperately want to break. Okay, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to self-sabotage. I'm going to be willing to manage it. And then I want you to just zoom out to your future self, whether this is in a few months, a few years, whoever. This version of you that knows how to manage self-sabotage, right? What would they do in this position? How would they show up? What would that break free version of yourself do to manage the fear and the discomfort in these moments so that it doesn't self-sabotage you? And then what habits do you have in place, right? For your nervous system, how to stay grounded, how to stay on course. So I gave you some of the examples of ways it shows up for me. So I make sure I've eaten, I make sure I'm hydrated, I make sure I've gotten a good night's sleep. I don't try to do things if I'm gonna naturally be tired because it's already gonna have me in a weird vibration. And then it just doesn't help when, the sabotage does come up. It makes it harder to manage. So I really pay attention to that. I regulate my nervous system. I might meditate, I might do affirmations. Like I have a whole process depending on what it is I'm stepping into. I create an entire process the night before so that the next day when I go to do XYZ, I have a beautiful portal in place to hold whatever level of transformation I'm about to walk through. And then how to manage whatever comes up in that portal. And then we're going to build a plan. Okay. And I can feel a lot of energy moving in my body right now. So I feel like with everybody who's going to be watching this video, self-sabotage has stopped you in a lot of ways. And it's probably already kind of feeling heavy. I'm feeling this in like my chest and solar plexus. So this plan navigation part is going to be really important for you. You want to understand your most likely patterns, right? Getting hungry, getting tired, delays, scrolling TikTok, whatever it is. What is the trigger that's coming up for you? So when I get hungry, I don't want to start the thing. I don't want to do the thing. Why don't I want to do the thing? Well, I don't want to do the thing because it requires a new version of me to show up. What if nobody likes the thing? What if nobody likes the video? What if nobody likes the content? What if nobody likes the thing I create? What if nobody watches it? What if nobody sees it? What about, okay, when maybe it's like, oh, I got to go do the laundry. Now I'm delaying it. So I'm not avoiding it, but I'm delaying it. What am I delaying? I'm delaying the discomfort of working through the thing, right? So getting hungry or getting tired is less of a delay and more of a how do I not start, where getting busy with a quick task is more of a delay. So understanding, am I trying to not start this? Am I trying to delay this? Am I trying to stop it altogether? Like, what does this look like? And then what is the empowered response? So when that comes up, I will say to myself, Kristen, I know you're not hungry. I know you're not hydrated. I treat myself almost like my inner child. Like, I took care of you. I prepped you for this. You've had your nap, you've eaten, you've gone to the bathroom, you've done all the things. Like, it's time to sit down and we're going to do this. And it's okay if you're uncomfortable, but we're just going to walk through it, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And if nobody sees it, that's fine too, because you're doing it for you. Like, I walk myself through this process. You want to figure out what your empowered response will be. So this is an example, writing and sharing my story. So the sabotage pattern is perfectionism, second guessing what to share, etc. This is so common. You go to share your story and all of a sudden you don't know what to share. You don't know how to share it. You feel like what you're sharing isn't worthy, right? You're like, well, I actually haven't accomplished anything. I don't know enough. It's not ready yet. Like, all of these things come up, right? The fear is being judged. It's being rejected. It's also can be like an exposure wound, like exposing your vulnerability, yourself, your story. So the new response is to understand that and say, I'm safe to be seen. I'm safe to share my story. I can go for a walk to reset my energy. I can meditate. I can take a few minutes to do some nervous system, like somatic exercises. I might go read the letter about my why. Why am I doing this? And I commit to letting myself take messy action. And I play with sharing my story. Doesn't have to be perfect. Everything I do is in the spirit of play. I'm I'm an Aries rising. I have a very fuck around and find out energy. So I'm very playful in that way of like, let me just see what happens. Like, what's the worst case that can happen? Let me just see what happens. And that's what I do. And I invite all of you, a lot of energy moving here, you guys. So there's going to be a lot of energy to move in your own path of the self-sabotage. And a lot came up around that playful energy and just the fuck around and find out kind of an energy of just like, just do it. So you're going to need to have some, again, plan in place, because I can feel energy moving here. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. It evolves as I evolve, but taking messy action is the thing I invite you to do the most. This is where I've had my most success. There are so many times where I'm like, okay, well, my website doesn't look the way I want it to. The landing page doesn't look exactly what I want it to. I don't have the exact words I want to describe this thing. I don't have the exact tool in place. Now, mind you, I come from a PR and marketing background. That's my thing, is how things appear in the outer presentation to the world. But if I waited until everything was perfect, I'd never freaking launch. Okay. So it's like, take messy action. Do I wish sometimes my emails looked prettier? Do I wish the landing pages looked prettier? Do I wish all of those things? Yes. And will they eventually? Absolutely. But right now, I don't let that block me, because my landing page isn't what's selling anything that I'm doing. It's me, it's my frequency, and I've embodied that. So those other things are just ways for me to sabotage imperfectionism and stay busy. And it'll be the same for you, because here's the thing: when you embody who you truly are and you embody that frequency and you broadcast it authentically to the world, nothing can stop you. It doesn't matter. I was able to make so much money with a link in my bio and no website at all. I've been able to sell massive packages without ever meeting anybody, just off of a video. Like, it's my frequency that does the work, which is the work I did in here to be able to embody my frequency in this exact program that we're going through. So take messy action, because the things we think matter actually don't. It doesn't even really matter what I say in my videos. What matters is the frequency that I'm broadcasting out. So many people will say to me, not that, and I want to be clear, it's not that I don't take my messages or the channel messages seriously. I absolutely do, but it's my frequency. So many people come into me and will say, I don't know why, you just came across my page and I had to talk to you. They don't even, like, that's it. They don't have any other reason. They're just like, I had to talk to you. I was drawn to you. I don't know why. I've never booked an appointment like this before, but I just booked. Or you just came across my page and I don't know, I can't remember what you said, but I had to meet you. Like, it's my frequency. So it doesn't matter what they click on or where they get to. And that's going to be the same for you. Your frequency is what matters. So take messy action. You can't find your frequency if you don't take the messy action to allow you to become you. Okay. So you want to develop a self-coaching script, okay? So when sabotage arises, it's not collapsing. Coach yourself through it with love. So this is a time when I often act like or not act like, but I will pretend it's my inner child that's self-sabotaging, because again, you want to meet with love, kindness, and compassion. I see you, Sabotage. I see you. I know you're scared and I know you're trying to protect me, but I'm safe. We're both safe. I don't need this pattern anymore. I'm going to choose to do this instead. It's okay if you want to stay scared. It's okay if you want to stay here in the background. This is what I'm doing. Like, really talk to it like it's a child, because essentially it is the child version of you that's trying to stay safe. And when this happens, I always have a custom mantra I use, right? So in moments, hold the vision was one I had in the beginning. And this is one I would use when I was self-sabotaging or where external circumstances felt like they were about to take me down, or as I was about to crumble. I would say, hold the vision, Kristen, hold the vision, just hold the vision, just hold the vision. And that would get me through whatever the discomfort was my vision, the overall vision I had for my life, for what I was creating, for what I was no longer tolerating. Hold the vision, Kristen, hold the vision. And I would just talk myself through that. So whatever mantra or self-talk will be good for you. And then integrate it, right? So what do you need to say to the part of you that sabotages? Because there's a little kid that developed these patterns. And again, compassion, and how can you lead through it instead of letting it lead you? So this is the part on navigating the sabotage that's really, really important, and take your time with it, okay? Okay, and then I want you to think about, how can you surrender to your expansion versus surrendering to your sabotage. So when it comes up in the moment, how can I be in surrender here? How can I just let go, stop trying to control, not allow the self-sabotage to take over, but surrender to the possibility, surrender to expansion. And when you think about it from this perspective, it changes the vibration. So we're being kind and compassionate. We are acknowledging whatever fears are coming up. We are being kind and loving and talking ourselves through that. And then we are surrendering to expansion. So in this moment, I feel so uncomfortable. I don't want to film this content, or whatever it's going to be for you that makes you uncomfortable, whatever that sticky edge is. It feels so uncomfortable right now. I don't want to say this thing. What if people don't like it? Okay, I'm going to have this conversation. It's okay, Kristen. Not everybody's going to like what you have to say. You are not for everybody, but the people you are meant for will find you. And it's more important that you express your voice than how people respond. It's more important that you use your power to share your message than how people respond to you, respond to it. What happens outside of you is not any of your business. So I'll talk myself through that. And then I'll say to myself, I'm going to surrender to my expansion, and I'm going to surrender and allow myself to be okay if the worst case scenario happens. Be okay with whatever that thing is on the other side, the mean comment, the rejection, the judgment, the abandonment, whatever it is. I'm going to surrender. If that happens, me speaking my truth is still more important to that, and me surrendering to my expansion and this bigger vision is so much more important than anything on the external or any worst case scenario that I could possibly think of. Because when I scroll back up on this exercise and I look at, what have I lost due to self-sabotage, that's so much more expensive than whatever reaction I'm afraid of. So again, you want to navigate your self-sabotage, compassion, love, and power, and then you want to surrender to your expansion. You've got this. Break down your plan.